We as parents are losing and leaking time with our kids all the time. There's more coaches, there's more clubs, there's more technology, there's more friendships, there's more things to do, there's more TV shows to watch, there's more. And what's taking place is we're losing that time with our kids. So one solution we've tried to have in our family is we try to eat dinner together as much as we possibly can. No phones at the table, no TV on. Aim for the heart and you'll get behavior. Aim for behavior and you may lose the heart. Rules without relationship equals rebellion.
Well, welcome to Parenting the Now Generation. I am so excited to have my pastor, and I call him my friend, Pastor Gregg Matte, with us from Houston First. Good morning and welcome, Pastor Gregg.
Thank you. So glad to be with you.
I'm so excited. I've been wanting to speak with you for some time, and I want to thank you for our first sit down on the really difficult discussion on grief. It was eye-opening for me, and I hope comforting for a lot of people who are dealing with grief. But I wanted to switch gears a little bit. You're our pastor, but you're a dad of two,
Yes.
a boy and
Yes.
a girl, who I don't know if they've come out of that, what parents call the difficult teen years, or I know they're a little older, not that much older, but a little older. But you have so much experience dealing with with families. You're the author of so many books. And by the way, December I went through your journal on Christmas, going through the book of Luke, and it was unbelievable. I was so glad you wrote it.
Yeah, salvation has come. That's been a fun one. Yeah, people have enjoyed that.
And I love the story of how you wrote it. Is it really an Instagram post?
Yeah, my sister-in-law posted an Instagram post that said, there's 24 chapters in Luke, 24 days before Christmas. Why don't we read one chapter a day of Luke, and then we'll have read Luke to prepare for the real meaning of Christmas. And so I did that, and then I wrote a devotional each day based on each chapter of the 24 chapters of Luke. And so it just turned out to be a kind of a good, fun writing exercise too. You're an accomplished author, so sometimes you have to force yourself to write.
Yeah.
So it made me every day on that exact day of December. What does it feel like on the 18th of December, or the 23rd of December, and write. So I did it in coffee shops. I did it at home. It was a good exercise.
It was really great. It was so great. You're also the founder of Breakaway Ministries out of Texas A&M, but welcome to all students. There's so many places to start, but I think I want to start at the basics. It's, parenting and our faith. How do we raise children? And this current, the name of this podcast, thanks to, our partnership with KSBJ, is Parenting the Now Generation. This current generation, I think, is different. It's certainly different than what I dealt with as a child growing up in the 80s. Where do you start? What's your anchor? How do you manage? Where do we even begin with this one? It's a hard one.
Sure, it is. Obviously, I'll put the bedrock of foundation and faith and the grace of God and all of those things, and then let me take the next step to say the word time. The word time. And here's the deal. We as parents are losing and leaking time with our kids all the time. It is happening boom, 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 boom. So what's happening is there's more coaches, there's more clubs, there's more technology, there's more friendships, there's more things to do, there's more TV shows to watch, there's more. And what's taking place is we're losing that time with our kids. So we're not able to put in the values and the thoughts and the relationships that we want to, because of the time that's being stolen by all the other things. Some of them wonderful and important things, but we've got to get that time. You think about Deuteronomy 6, verse 5. It says, when you walk on the road, when you rise up, when you're there in the house, teach these things to your kids. All of those are the assumption that the kid's actually in the home and in a relationship with the parent. Most of us are away from our kids far more than we are with our kids. So one solution we've tried to have in our family is we try to eat dinner together as much as we possibly can. No phones at the table, no TV on. Doesn't mean it's like, oh no, Dad, we don't want to do that. And we go around the table and we'll say, what's your high, what's your low? and they'll say what's their high, what's their low for the day, and we'll talk about it. And that time around the dinner table, when you look at the statistics, those times around the dinner table decrease crime by this much, drug use by this much, all these stats. So I would say, when you think about it, take this complex thing, and how can you, as a parent, spend more time with your kids that they enjoy, okay, not dad preaching a sermon, which I can definitely do too much of, but let that be a time that you spend good time with them that they enjoy, and you're going to have more caught than taught. And that's going to help you know what is on their phone and who is calling them and who are they going out with. Make your house the place for them to be. My wife is the best chocolate chip baker in the history of the world. And we've got kids at our house all the time because we got chocolate chip cookies coming out of the oven. As soon as they show up, whether they ask for it or not, hot cookies and milk are coming out. Now, they don't know that she bought dough balls from this gourmet place, and they're in the freezer. So we spent a bunch of money on chocolate chip cookies. But that time, we want those kids at our house.
I agree.
So that makes the complexity of all this, what should we do with this? What should we do with this? And Instagram and all those things have a worthy discussion. But what I would say is, in the simplistic realm, you're losing time with your kids if you're not paying attention. You've got to gain time with your kids by doing things that are profitable and meaningful as a family.
And it's actually such a valid point, because I'm sitting here thinking of my own life with my 3 girls, and it almost, if we don't pay attention, it's going to be a lot of side conversations, like passing. Hey, did you end up doing the tutoring? How was it? Oh, whatever happened with that test? Did you fill out the application? And a week can go by, and we might not have sat and just chatted and laughed and done something besides, hey, Mom, look at this reel. Hey, look at this story. So the intentional stopping and visiting, and not even correcting or disciplining, like the value that might have. A lot of the research that we've done and sort of figuring out how to get kids to listen rests on they do want to hear from their parents. They just want to feel comfortable to share what's going on. How do you manage, though, the realities of this world? And as a pastor, I mean, are you and Kelly, like, trying to constantly block content or people or things, or are you letting them live in this world, just knowing that you've equipped them with the tools that they need to manage?
Yeah, it depends upon age and stage. So where are we, and what's this child's tendencies been for the first 12 years of their life? Are they mischievous and tend to kind of sneak around the back to do something that they didn't tell you about? Has that been the theme? Or is it like they are talking to you all the time? It's a funnel. And the more trust is going to grow with age, and the trust is going to widen out, which is going to be good. I went to a place called J.H. Ranch in California, neat place, but they had this thing, I want to give them credit for it. They said you begin at the beginning of your parenting, you're basically a cop. You're trying to make sure things don't go well. Go well, not, prevent the things. And then you move into a coach. Okay, you're a caregiver. That was the first one. Caregiver, take care of that baby. Then you're a cop. Don't do this, do that. Then you turn into a coach. Well, what do you think? And then you turn into a consultant. So the older they get, the more consulting. So my daughter comes up to me. She's in high school senior. Your daughters and my daughters go to school together. And I may say, well, what do you think you should do? Well, what's everybody doing? Well, who's going to be there? And I don't ask it with a pointed finger. Yeah. I ask it with an inquisitive heart. And I say, man, I hope you'll have a blast. That sounds like fun, incredible. And then, because I know her heart, she'll say, well, yeah, but I'm not sure if this is the right group. And you kind of have to teach discernment. So the thing you want to teach them discernment, okay, more than anything else. So is there times you block things? Absolutely. There are times you say, we're not going to watch that. We're not going to do that. And are there times you don't say anything? Well, there's those times too. Now, if they're running into the middle of the freeway and they're about to get hit by a car, you grab them by the back of the collar and you pull them back. But you also have to learn, and you have to learn a little bit as well with them. So it's more art than science. And I think we as parents are looking for science when it's really art with the wiring of our kid.
Yeah.
And that's where you got to teach that discernment. And I would say this, what you're aiming at is not behavior. Okay. Aim for the heart and you'll get behavior. Aim for behavior and you may lose the heart. Okay.
Oh, that's so good.
The Pharisees had great behavior. They didn't have the right heart, right? Peter didn't have great behavior in the sense he was always spouting off something he shouldn't have said, but he had a great heart. And God used that great heart to make him Peter and to preach the greatest sermon ever known in Acts chapter 2. So I want to aim for the heart and then let the behavior come. And then the second thing, one other thing, I don't know what number I'm on, but whatever number I'm on, is do something fun. So I, with my daughter, I'll say, hey, we just finished dinner. We'll do the dishes together. We crank up whatever music they want. It's loud. We're doing the dishes. We're all working together as a family. And then afterwards, I'll say, hey, you know what? After this, you and I, we're going to go get Starbucks. Don't tell anybody. And then she's like, oh, really? I'm like, totally. Pick out any coffee shop you want to go to. And then we go out, and for $12, it's always overpriced coffee, but for $12, I get 30 minutes with my daughter to say, how's school going? What's going on? What's your best class? What's your worst class? Who's your best teacher? What's your teacher you don't really get what they're saying? What are you most excited about? What are you least excited about? My daughter's about to go to college, and I'm grieving, and I'm so sad, and I'm looking in the rearview mirror, and I get teary-eyed. The other day, I walked in the kitchen, and I thought, instead of talking about, oh, I'm going to miss you, oh, I'm going to hate it when you leave, I walked up there, I go, you know what? I am so excited about the new friends you're going to meet next year in college. You're going to have so much fun. Yeah, me too. You know what I was thinking about? And it opened up.
Yeah.
We're always wanting to get our kids on the parents' side. Let's get the parents on the kids' side, and we'll get that heart. And now we got an open relationship to be able to talk. They'll still make mistakes, but they'll know that we're there for them in the midst of it.
Okay, I have a crazy question. You said you'll listen to any music she wants, like Taylor Swift will be playing. I mean, if that's
Oh,
what she
yeah.
wants,
Taylor Swift to be playing. Oh, yeah.
anything she wants. Okay, that's all I could think of because we have daughters, and
Yes.
I want to
But
ask.
here's a little kind of trick of the trade. She and I share a Spotify. So I'll be in the car and we'll argue about the Spotify and text each other. Can I have the Spotify? Can you have the Spotify? Or I'll get in and I'll be like, quit listening to trash. I'll
Yeah.
text her. Because something will come up and, some Taylor Swift stuff
It can be
all that
explicit.
great.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And other stuff, I'm like, who's SZA?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Somebody else. I can't think of somebody that their album cover is it's a lady in a swimsuit wearing hockey shin guards.
Gosh,
It's
I
like
don't.
so I don't know who it is, but I'm like, who's the girl in the bathing suit with the hockey shin guards? Which my daughter's like, "Hi, Dad, I so and so. They're the coolest, whatever." But hey, she gets on sometimes, and I'm listening to Van Halen,
Yeah.
from the
Oh my
'80s.
goodness.
So
Yeah. Yes.
I'm not a perfect Christian music guy either. We love KSBJ. I listen to a lot of KSBJ. I'm on, all that. But every once in a while, you got to get a little Bryan Adams as an
I
80
know.
boy. So,
That's so funny.
but I want her to hear that explicitness and go,
Yes.
and then I'll hear later and she'll go, you know what? Like she just deleted Instagram. I deleted Instagram. I'm just going to get away from it for a while.
That's so
Amen.
great.
That's a win.
So
But then
that's
what
so
she does, she
funny.
says, well, can I look at your Instagram?
But that's okay. Your
That's
Instagram
okay.
is great.
Yeah,
Your
it's great. I
Instagram
mean,
is great.
I'm following a bunch of pastors and churches. I mean, mine's very boring to a 17-year-old girl.
Well, I sometimes go into my daughter's Instagram and they're all three of them have it, and my oldest will sometimes turn it off to take a break as well. And I actually go in and search, and I talk about this with parents a lot, but I'll go in and search for positive messaging, sermons or young Christian influencers or puppies running through a field or showing family love or sister, because they're all girls, sisterhood. So I actually go in quite often and kind of change algorithms, although when I look at their For You page, it's pretty benign. But I love what you're saying because I talk to parents constantly. This is part of my job. It's part of my personal research and work, and not ministry, but just where my heart is. And I've had a lot of parents come and say, we're overwhelmed. We are overwhelmed by this world, by the things coming at them, the things that are brewing inside of them, the challenges, the availability of things at the time when they're young and curious. Even that alone is overwhelming. And they always ask, like, what's your rule? What's your guide? And I have that same theory of like focus on the heart. And the way I say it is get their buy-in from a young age, get their buy-in into the principles and the ideas and the family values and the desire to make good decisions, because that's where the longevity is. You were being interviewed, and it was at the church, and I think it was a mental health conversation, and you were talking completely unrelated. I was just drawn to what you were saying. You were saying like you live with this buzz and you have this desire to kind of do more and do more and do more, and you said it's not necessarily anxiety, but it's this, like, you mentioned that your foot was always on the gas pedal, and sometimes you had a hard time taking it off. And you said that one of the things you did was you took your schedule for the day and you brought it in prayer, every morning, and you kind of brought your schedule to God, and you said, here's my A, B, C, and then you went into A1, B1. And I actually thought it was really cool because I have anxiety, and I was like, gosh, this is a great tool for managing life. But I also thought it's a great roadmap for even navigating our children and bringing those concerns before God. Like sometimes I'll write my list of worries. My oldest is going to school just like yours. And Pastor Gregg, I'm really not good. Like, I'm really worried about it. All of my life and work and things kind of pop up into my head. So I've started to say, like, what if I bring these lists and concerns to God and say, like, let's break them down before I start my day, and help me figure out where do I need to pause and pray? Where can I throw this away? Where do I need to focus and dive in? And help me remove sort of the burden of, like, be a good legacy parent and create a great future foundation, to just say, what can I do today? How do I connect today? How do I help them build their character and heart today? I don't know. Your message on scheduling actually helped me with parenting.
Good.
I don't know if that's odd, but it really did. I mean, it really did.
Well, I'm so glad. And you do have to prioritize, because there's so many things coming at us all the time. And there are things we have to protect. I mean, obviously, in your line of work, and I see it in my line too, there's a lot of evil in this world, and we have to be very wise about it. We do have to protect ourselves from that. It's the armor of God, Ephesians chapter 6, that we put on every day. So we're crazy to walk out in this evil world, especially the digital evil world, and not think that something's going to happen, or that we can just not worry about it. But I think too, when you're a go-getter type of personality, and you got to give yourself freedom to not always have to be on go. And that's where, when I write down an A that I got to get done today, and okay, I'm going to do it, but I also have to have some B's that would just be, it's nice if it gets done today. Because in my mind, everything's an A. I got to say, no, that's a B. I could do that tomorrow. Nobody cares if I do that today or tomorrow or Thursday or Friday or a month from now. And put that down. And when I begin in prayer. I have 3 P's. I pray, I plan, I proceed. And those are my 3 P's. And so the first thing I do is I write down. So today, I wrote down in my prayer journal, got on my knees in my office and prayed. And I wrote down praying for this podcast, that God would really use it. And then I put in my things to do, preparation for the podcast, so I could look over and make sure that my heart was ready and my thoughts were ready, and to be able to do that. And then I was able to move on to other things. I checked that box and keep going. So in parenting, all these things are coming. But if we'll get good time with our kids, to build a good relationship with our kids and aim for the heart, that's going to solve a whole lot of things. Now, you still need an internet filter. You still need to not give them a phone when they're 4 years old.
Yes.
There's a lot of to-dos. But my general thing, I'm going to be with you more than a coach is going to be with you. I'm going to be with you more than friends are going to be with you over the course of your life. I want to be involved in your life, so I'm going to take you on a father-daughter trip or father-son trip. I'm going to take you to get coffee. We're going to go work out. We're going to go run. We're going to go to the park. We're going to get away from all that, and we're going to spend time together as a family. And then one other thing, if I could say, that's helpful to us is a lot of times we parent instant in the moment, and it ticks our kids off. Okay, so I see my kid on the phone. I'm like, those phones, we didn't have phones when I was a kid. Da, da, da. And then finally I go, hey, let's get off our phones because I've had enough. And they're like, okay, I was texting about my honors AP English class that I get dual credit for, so you don't have to pay for as much college. And I'm like, oh, I didn't know that. I thought you were doing stupid things. You were doing like smart kid things, you know? So instead what I'll do is I'll say, hey, here in about 30 minutes, we're gonna be ready for dinner. If everybody could wrap up whatever you gotta do on email or on your phone so we can be ready for dinner, that'd be great. Or we just watched a movie together this week. Hey, when we watch the movie, I'd like to request that everybody's just on one screen. It's the TV. Because I can watch a movie and pull out my laptop and do email just as much like anybody else. So we're all going to be on one screen. So now we're doing this together. We're laughing at the same moments. We're crying at the same moments. We're talking about the movie. We're together in this. Mom's going to make some hot chocolate, bring out some cookies.
Yeah, the
you know, I
cookies.
mean, and now it's a moment together with blankets on the couch watching a movie. Not I'm on my laptop, they're on their phone, we're watching a movie as background noise. But I had to get that ready 30 minutes in advance so that we all put that stuff up. And now we can do this together. So a little warning, try to have the issue when it's not an issue. Have the discussion of the issue when it's not an issue. Then everybody goes, oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense, I got it. Instead of, get off your phone, quit doing that. What are you doing? I need to do, well, I'm on email, I'm a pastor, I'm emailing about work. It's about Jesus. What are you telling me? I mean, you know, we all got to shut it down. And let's do this together. So we call ourselves Team Matte, my last name, Team Matte. That's how we refer to ourselves. So I say, okay, Team Matte, we're going to dinner. Team Matte, time to wrap it up. Every word out of my mouth for the last 15 years has been Team Matte because we're a team. We're building that. So we have literally stationery that says Team Matte with all of our kids' names and our names on it. And we use it as thank you notes and different things like that. So building a team is aiming for the heart, and doing that is going to make a big difference. Then the other stuff will take care of itself. Matthew 6:33. Seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. Take care of the big things, and the small things get thrown in. Take care of the small things, you don't get the big things thrown in.
You have great kids, and I know your daughter very well, or better than I know your son, who's a little older. What do you do though, Pastor Gregg, when you have defiant? I mean, there are some people that are trying and on their knees in prayer, but they're dealing with like a difficult child.
Yes, for sure. Man, and that is, there's nothing harder. You know, the Bible tells us my greatest joy is when my children walk in the truth. You know, so when your children aren't walking in your truth, then that's a problem. You know, I've heard it said, a mom is only as happy as her saddest kid.
Yes.
And you get a defiant child, and it's tough. I'd say a couple things. One, you know, it's a complex issue, but one, I would say this: try to set out the boundaries and agree upon the boundaries ahead of time so that when they're broken, you've already agreed upon the result of what's going to happen from this. Here's what's going to happen. If you make an F, you're not playing football. If you do this, you're not doing that. If you keep doing this, you're not doing that. And doing it with love and care, and also pouring in that type of love with that defiance type thing. Then this is what I would say too. Life has a board for every bottom. Okay, life has a board for every bottom, like a spanking is what I'm talking about. And God will use a third party to teach the child about what is right and what is true. Now, we hope that third party is not the police, not the principal. You know, we do not want it to escalate.
Yes.
Pray for your kids to get caught. Pray for your kids to be convicted in their hearts. And then when they get caught and they love football and they get drunk and get kicked off the team, let the consequences settle in. Because we're also very quick to rescue, okay? Yeah. Now, we don't want them to get hurt. Again, if they run out in the freeway, grab them, pull them back. But we also want them to feel the consequences of that. And we as parents don't like that. We want them to learn the lesson without the price. Yeah. So settle the issue before the issue, discuss it through, and then also pray that there would be consequence, appropriate consequence, and life has a board for every bottom. And those will be seeds to help you to do that. The prodigal son story in Luke chapter 16. He's still waiting. He's still loving. He's still caring. And there will be a moment. It's kind of like it's when it hits, come on back. I'm going to be here for you because it's going to hit at some point. Sin's not going to last for, it won't take you all the way. So that would be my thoughts on that sort of thing.
Interesting to pray for the consequences, but you're right. And a lot of times that will protect them down the line. I mean, if something stops them now and they deal with it, it's going to be smaller than if it were to escalate and keep going. I, I I'm thinking back again. I guess that discussion you had on mental health really did sit with me, because another thing you talked about, which was completely not related to parenting, but you talked about like the energy. I heard it as like you you're like high on, you have this high sort of going energy for every occasion. And it took you a minute to say, wait a minute, I don't have to be at this level of energy for everything. I can go into this meeting and be kind of calm and relaxed. There are other meetings where I have to be this or that. And for me, it made me think of parenting. You know, we sometimes go into every situation on guard. What did you do? Are you safe? Did you fall, or worried, are you okay? And we don't have to. Not every situation is a learning discipline. Like you said, sometimes it's let's do the dishes, listen to whatever music, and go get coffee. But there's this pressure because I guess the time is limited and there is so much going on in the world. How do we, if we can sort of wrap it up, and like challenges for parents today, would you say, like, focus, of course, on your faith? I would say get plugged into a church. Put that time together, have fun, don't be afraid to discipline. I mean,
Yeah, I'd say try to turn up the fun volume as loud as you can with your kids. Good, clean fun. Here's what we want to do. We want the world to lay down a story, and we want to lay down a better story, right? Oh, all your friends are going out on Friday night and getting drunk. Are you kidding me? You want to do that? That's a terrible story. We're going to do, and it doesn't have to be, we're going to go on a yacht to the Caribbean. That's not what I'm saying. But man, this is going to be a blast. This is going to be so fun. And the older they get, the less time they're going to spend with you because they need to grow up and they've got friends and all that stuff. So that's fine. But we did for years Friday night family fun night. And it was basically, we would do something fun every Friday night. We typically would order fajitas and eat fajitas. I knew the lady at Lupe Tortillas so well, she was a sweet lady. So we would do all that. But just lay down a better story. Take them on a mission trip. Take them on a trip. Take them somewhere. Show them a better story. Dads, show them a better boyfriend by the way you treat your wife. Moms, show a better girlfriend, a better, the type of mom to be that. Brag on each other as parents. I tell my daughter all the time, if you need to learn from mom. She is a good wife. You need to be paying attention. She's amazing. And let that story be there in a great way. They measure life in RPMs. We measure life in mileage, if you think about a dashboard. They want the rev of the engine. We're worried about the odometer. Well, is this going to take you another mile down the road? Is this going to be the right thing? Are you going to get into college? Are you going to do that? And usually our kids, if there's a roll the eyes phrase that you're going to hear more, or they're going to say it in their mind, is this: Mom, chill.
yeah,
Dad, chill.
it's not
Because
that
we
deep.
are so, oh my gosh, it's like, chill. Just, we're going to be okay. Everybody's fine. Nobody's robbing banks here. We're okay. And let that be a positive. Then speak into the positive of their life. Man, I see this in you. I want you to know I see in you the gifts of such and such and such and such. I believe in you for this. You know what? I think you're going to do great things. I would always tell my kids getting out of the car, be a leader for good, be a leader for God. Those are like my last words going out there. I tell them, hey, I want you to be on the lookout. I said this just yesterday. I want you to be on the lookout for people that don't have friends.
Oh,
And the
yes.
most mature thing you can do is to care for somebody who doesn't have a friend. And you sit with them and you love them and you care for, like my daughter serves in our special needs ministry. I'm like, the proudest I'd ever be for you is not that you go hang with the popular kids. The proudest I'd ever be is that you would befriend a kid that doesn't have any friends.
Yeah.
And not that, special needs kids got a bunch of friends, but sometimes they're
Yeah.
kind of pushed out. and go and love them and care for them, and you'll find such joy in your life. And lift it up instead of always worried about, now, what's going on in the gutter? What's going on in the gutter?
Yeah.
Tell them about the ceiling. Tell them how great that is there. Go home and tell a God story. You're not going to believe what God did today. Man, I was talking to somebody, and and just they see how you treat the waiter at the restaurant. They see how you treat somebody that's different. They see how and just let that love really really ooze in. And I think that's going to win the day. Rules without relationship equals rebellion. Okay? Rules without relationship equals rebellion. But relationship, that takes care of a lot of the rules, and you keep that for a long, long time. You don't want them to, I can't wait to get out of here. You want to be, I can't wait to get back here.
Yeah.
And it's ebb and flows. They're kids. Their mind, I tell my kids, your mind hadn't fully developed yet until 25, right?
25.
This is the science. Okay, so.
It is.
And your friends are dumb. So just don't do what they're saying.
You don't
I
need
tell my
to do what
son,
they're saying.
I say, your guy friends in college, their first idea is always a bad one.
Yeah.
I was in college ministry
Always.
for 20 years. It's always a bad idea.
Always bad.
Idea 2 or 3 might be better. Do not do idea 1. So they hate it when I say things like that, but I say it with a smile and a jest and a fun and a laugh, and I tease them too. One last thing, I know we got to wrap up, but because they're like, Dad, I don't want my friends to know I have a dad, kind of thing, and I'm like, hey, if y'all could go away from me right now, because if my middle-aged friends find out I have kids, my coolness goes so far down. So I need y'all to walk away from me. I mean, just me and Mom. But if my middle-aged friends in their 50s find out I got kids, my coolness goes way down. They're like, I'm like,
So
well, how do you think I feel? So we just have fun with it,
I love it.
So.
Well, I will share one thing, and I'm trying to share it as often as I can. I'm encouraging kids to participate in a kindness challenge. And I speak to a lot of NCL groups, and these are usually girls 7th grade to 12th grade. And one of the things I ask of them is I say, pick 10 kids in your grade. You do not have to be friends with them. Just 10 kids. Maybe they're the awkward or the lonely or not the, quote unquote cool, and be kind to them. Smile, maybe hold a door when you see them. Don't participate in anything negative, and dedicate a year of praying for them. Just pray for the girl with the whatever hair, and she always has a green backpack, and I know she sits alone at lunch, or I can tell she's not had an easy, just those are your 10. To be kind to them and pray for them. You don't even have to say a word to them. You never have to talk to them if you don't want to. But what could we do with changing the hearts of our school culture and just get in the habit of just showing kindness? And I'm so far so moved that a lot of kids are taking that challenge and excited to do it. But Pastor Gregg, you must be a fun dad. I can see it clearly. My kids and I, part of the reason we started going to your church was that my children, I identified you as they wanted you to be their pastor. And so I thought that was really neat. And we kind of, if you go to Houston First, we kind of have a joke about whether or not you're going to sit on the stool. Is he going to sit on the stool this week? And you've been doing it for us, which we appreciate. But you are just a blessing to our family and to so many others. And I really want to thank you. And Kelly does so much at the school and praying for the kids and the parents and the families. And your kids are great examples, and we really appreciate what you're doing at Houston First, and we encourage people to get your books. There's a long list of books you've authored, to go to houstonfirst.org, get plugged into the church. There's how many campuses now?
We have 4 campuses: Sienna, Cypress, Downtown, and the Loop.
Okay. And I was at Cypress recently. It's a beautiful new, it seems new. I don't know how new it is, but it appears to be
pretty new.
Beautiful. Pastor Gregg, thank you so much for being with us on Parenting the Now Generation.
Well, thanks for all you're doing. It's fun to talk, so I appreciate it.
And everybody else, we'll catch you next time. Take care, everybody.